Good morning. I'm going to head out to Fellows Lake again this morning. I really started to enjoy fishing that lake. It's close. It's got a few fish, and it's easy to get to. Anyway, I'm not going to do a big blabby intro this morning. It's Tuesday. I think it's about the 16th, 17th. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the actual dates, but I'm on a, like I said, run out there, and I'll turn the camera back on when I'm on the water. Hopefully I'll get more on tape this time than one fish. Last time I caught a few, but it was a Saturday and there were so many people around and I didn't want to feel like some guy trying to be a movie star, so I just kept the camera. I just didn't get it out. But anyway, I'll see you on the water. Well, the muskie action's kind of been what I figured. I've been here now for 20 or 30 minutes. I am showing huge, just huge marks on the graph, tons of them. I'm out here in a cut down on the east end of Fellows Lake, and man, I'm marking fish like crazy, and like I say, lots of big ones. But so far with my big swim bait, no action, especially if I cast it like that. Oh, the button didn't get pushed all the way down, I guess, but there we go. There's a pretty good cast, and that's actually just a cheap Bass Pro brand glide bait that I found over in the outlet store, I think for 10 bucks. I'm pretty impressed with the action on it. I don't know if I'm thrilled with the color. I really like more of a shad color than a white, but it looks pretty good in the water, and I figure if a muskie's stupid enough to hit a lure, they'll hit that one. If they won't, then I guess I'm not going to catch one. But anyway, I'm going to fish this pocket for a while. I may throw a jigging spoon on because these fish are right down on the bottom. And there's some big arches in there. Some of it I'm sure is bait fish. Some of it probably because the kayak's drifting pretty slow. Maybe makes the arches look a little bigger than normal. But I've got the lake to myself. My buddy's way down there. I don't even think he's fishing. I think he's just sitting out there reflecting on life. He's got a Hobie. It's an older one. It's a Hank Parker edition. And he's got the pedals, which sometimes I envy the pedals, but I really enjoy paddling. Although if I was going to do this serious, like in bass tournaments or something, I'd definitely go for a pedal craft. If I get any kind of action at all, I'll turn this thing back on. Well, I'm continuing to mark bait fish and arches just all up and down this bank, but I'm also continuing to catch zero fish. It is 8:28, so I've been here now for, I probably fished about an hour. I think I got here about 6:45 or maybe close to 7. And then, of course, it took 15, 20 minutes to get the kayak rigged and get down here. So, like I say, I've fished somewhere around an hour. I don't know exactly. But everywhere I'm going, I mean, I assume you can see that graph. This thing usually has a better picture than what I can see in this viewfinder. And I'm seeing them everywhere, but I'm not getting any fish. If I don't get any fish, I don't know if I'll post the video or not, since, like I say, I kind of like to at least have one fish on the video before I can, actually in good conscience call it a fishing video. But anyway, I'm going to keep paddling. And well, I've got one, by golly. Don't know that it's much. I'd say it's probably a little white bass, but it's a fish. So, assuming he's still on there, it feels like he might have. Oh boy, he's a monster. Holy cow. That might be the littlest crappie I've ever caught, but what the heck. It is a fish. The good thing for him is he doesn't have to worry about going in the kettle. He's going right back in the lake. But like I say, it is a fish. It's a good sign. I'm in an area where there's a lot of fish on the graph. I'd like to think that there's going to be a few in here, maybe just a little bigger than that, though. Sorry about the camera. Anyway, I'll keep trolling, turn it back on if I get another one. Well, I got another one, and this one actually feels a little bit bigger. The rod's bowing a little bit more. I don't believe I'd say it's just a crappie. But anyway, like I say, it feels like a little bigger fish. Could be a little white. Well, it's another runt crappie. It just happens to be kind of hooked in the side. So it felt bigger, but it wasn't. Anyway, like I say, it's action. It's fish. I was going to get my pliers out a while ago and didn't really think I'd need them, but I guess I probably better get them out so I don't end up putting a hook in my hand. Oh, I got another one. Again, it feels like a little better fish. The last time I thought that, it ended up just being a foul hooked crappie. That could be what this one is too. It hit out in a little deeper water, about 24 foot. A lot of bait fish out here, a lot of arches on the graph. Man, I'm marking a lot of fish. I think on a better day, hey, that's a lot better crappie. I think on a lot better day that a guy'd have him a pretty good day out here, but it ought to be good. Now that's I'd say at least a 10 to 11. I'd say it's probably close to 11 inch. I'll measure it here in just a second, but that's a lot nicer crappie there. If I was thinking about keeping fish, that'd be part of the way to a dinner, but let's measure him up and see what he says with my highly accurate paddle measuring device here. He is 10 3/4. I enjoy catching any size fish. I really do. I love to fish and I love to play golf. Both of them, to me, the results are not as important. I don't care how I shoot. Whether I play real good or real bad, and I don't really care whether I catch a lot of fish or big fish. I just enjoy the process. I enjoy the time alone. I enjoy just being out here getting some exercise. I love to paddle this kayak. It paddles, I think just about the same as the Flint. It's obviously a little heavier and a little harder paddling, but it's definitely not what I'd call a barge. I mean, I'm sitting here right now going 1.98 mile per hour, and I'm barely working to do it. It's just actually pretty easy, and I enjoy that. I like to bring a sandwich and a little bit of Gatorade and just come out here and, like I say, just kind of enjoy the time. Now, I don't like it when it's 95 degrees, which it has been here lately, but today I'd say it's at the worst, it's probably 85, and it's probably more like 82. So after what we've been through, it's pretty darn comfortable. Anyway, that's enough of the yapping. Next, when I get on here, I'll probably throw it on the video too, unless it's small, unless it's 6 inches or something. I've caught a bunch of 6 and 7 inchers today, so I'm surprised how many small crappie are in here. I was told that the small crappie had pretty much been decimated by the muskie, but that's obviously not true. I'm back. It's probably about 3:30. I ended up paddling about 5 hours, which made for a pretty good trip, but I'm darn tired. I ended up catching, I would say, 20 to 30 crappie, no whites, no black bass, certainly no muskie. Most of the crappie were small. Man, I think some of them were as small as 5 inches. A lot of them 7 and 8 inches. I did end up with 4 real nice ones that were probably, they were all pushing, there was 4 of them that were pushing 11 inches. And I had, I think 3 or 4 that would have probably went 9 to 10. Now, they got to be 10 to be a keeper. So if I would have been keeping fish, I would have only ended up with 4 keepers anyway. So there at the end, I tried bass fishing. That didn't work. I put a bandit on, tried to troll a little bit. Didn't get any bass. My camera went dead. On the way back in, I threw my flicker shad back on, and I caught a couple more pretty nice crappie. That was part of the bigger ones that I caught. But it just was really, it was actually, for that lake, I think that's probably a pretty good day, even though, to me it was kind of a tough day, especially when you're paddling. But I had fun, and I got a lot of exercise. And I think I'm going to try to go back up to Stockton maybe the end of this week or the first of next week if we keep a little break in that heat. But I just don't want to go. Today was a cooler day, and it was still about 85. So, and if it gets back up into the 90s, I just don't want to be out there paddling that kayak. Anyway, I sure appreciate you guys.